cancel the darkness of the room, I found myself glancing over my shoulder a lot.
Bro, I do that.
I like to think I'm not the only 30-year-old male that does that.
I swear.
But anyway, after the movie, I brushed my teeth, turned off all the lights in the house, then went to sleep. My sleep lasted for about 2 hours. I woke up around 1 a.m., and I wasn't sure why I woke up at first. Then I heard a voice downstairs. It sounded like my sister. It sounded like she was inside the house, so it's not like she was calling for me to open the door. But still, I knew it was my sister's voice. I didn't know what she was yelling up to me though, but I was still groggy and not thinking straight. All I could think was that she must have been calling for me.
Damn, it's a big ass
or
house.
arguing with her boyfriend.
Damn.
So I got out of bed and went into the pitch black hall. I turned on the hallway lights and then made my way through the living room and heard my sister's voice again from downstairs. Now I could understand her to be saying my name. I made my way downstairs in the dark, yelling back at her, "What is it?" I looked for the light switch in the foyer downstairs, but couldn't find it. I'm not lying when I say I was groggy as hell. I walked down her little hallway towards her kitchen, find a light switch, and flick it on. The light in the kitchen lights up her little apartment, including her living room. The light starts off dim and needs time to brighten up, but I still saw that there was no one down there.
What the fuck?
Not her, not her boyfriend.
Why you hearing your sister damn, boy?
It was empty. I called her name really loudly one time. No one called back.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, bro, not no creepy shit like that, though. But I told you, bro, I used to just be by myself and shit, just kicking it by myself, bro. And I hear a nigga say, Jayla. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to my parents and shit. I'm like, nigga, did you call my name, my nigga? But it don't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying, you constantly hearing your sister's voice. That just be a loud ass voice just called me like one time. You know what I mean? But you saying you constantly hear your sister's voice and shit, so you know that's different, bro. You probably got some paranormal.
Something dropped to the floor in my sister's bedroom, which I had just checked, and it was empty.
Holy shit.
I went back up the stairs like a little kid and went back to my bed to where my phone was. I tried to call her a few times, but she didn't pick up. I had myself locked in my room, wondering if I had just hallucinated all of that. Eventually, I fell asleep, and in the morning, I woke up to text from my sister asking why I called her at 1 a.m. I asked her if she was home last night, and she told me no, she was currently staying at her boyfriend's house.
Hell no.
I went downstairs to her bedroom to see what may have fallen down on the floor, but there was not a single object on the floor that could have made that noise.
The fuck?
I'm led to believe I hallucinated everything I heard that night.
Hey.
That's what I want to believe, because the alternative would be much more horrific. But I've never really hallucinated anything else, or had any kind of sleep disorders. So how vividly I heard my sister's voice, and that sound in her room, really freaks me out.
No, you ain't hallucinating, bro. Probably some paranormal shit or something. I don't know. You ain't hallucinating, though, bro. You probably was. There's such thing as that, though. But, I mean, he probably was hallucinating, though.
I was left home alone a lot as a kid, just due to the fact that my mom was single for a good chunk of my upbringing, and she worked as an RN on a crappy RN schedule.
Shit.
And my brother went away to college. This was a night that my mom was working an overnight. It was a weekend night, so I had this girl Molly over who I was talking to, and she hung out for a while.
And boy, finna get some Molly!
Watched a couple movies and whatnot, and eventually she had to go home because her parents don't like her out late, so I was left alone to hold down the fort. I continued to watch TV in my room and bed. My bedroom is upstairs next to the backyard, so when someone dragged one of the chairs on the deck outside, I heard it. I got up and looked out the window, and I saw someone sitting on one of the deck chairs down below.
Oh shit.
I called Molly's name thinking it was her. After all, she'd only left under 10 minutes ago. Whoever it was looked up at me, but it wasn't Molly. I immediately pulled away from the window to hide. That was not anybody I recognized. Not in the darkness, at least. I texted a few close friends in our group chat if it was one of them messing with me. The ones who answered all said no, and asked what I was talking about. I didn't really believe any of my friends would come to my house to mess with me like that anyway. Scared shitless, but still curious, I slowly walked back over to the window to look down again, and that person was still sitting in the chair, looking up at my window.
Holy
It was
shit.
a he, that much was clear, and he definitely saw me.
Hell no.
I hurried away from the window again to turn off the TV.
I mean, like I said, you human and shit like that, so you know what it is for me, though. But just stay in the house, though. Don't go outside and just be trying to, hello. Like, don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just stay your ass in the house. And then if you come in the house, you know what to do.
I sat in my bed in a ball, basically, with my arms wrapped around my knees. I waited in darkness for a while. I didn't even want to turn my phone screen on because I was scared he'd see the light. I didn't even want to move because the window was opened and I feared that he'd hear any movement I made. I wanted him to assume I was just no longer in the bedroom. I waited enough time. It had to be a solid 5 minutes of just sitting there. I highly doubted that man outside could still be there. I finally mustered up the courage to get up and look out the window. I felt a little part of me die inside when I saw he was still down there, looking up at my window. Instead of running away from the window again, I tried to be brave and said down to him, "What do you want?" I then noticed his shoulders started to go up and down as if he were laughing really hard, but he didn't make any kind of audible laughing sounds at first, till I heard a slight whistling sound coming from him. It seemed like he was laughing so hard that he was wheezing. I asked him to please go away, then walked away from the window again.
I would've said, man, you better get the fuck out my freaking house before I freaking shoot your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, on God, boy, I would have been yelling out that window, boy, for real, man. I got a gun! I got a gun! You know what I'm saying? Probably would have had to fire that bitch in there. Fire! I ain't playing with you, bitch!
I went back to my bed. I was scared to call the police for some reason. I left my room and sat at the top of the stairway listening. The back door was being pushed.
Oh,
he was trying to get into the house. I ran back to my room to hide again. I was 14. I didn't know what else to do.
My nigga 14.
Eventually, I heard the front door's doorknob being fiddled with.
Ooh.
The man trying to push the front door open as well. He gave up quickly, thank God. I closed my bedroom window and curtains.
But you gotta understand, bro, 14 though. You know what I'm saying? Bro ain't like no 20-something-year-old. Bro, 14. So it's like, shit, I ain't gonna cap. I ain't have a pipe when I was 14. So it's like, shit. You know, your ass would be scared in that situation, bro. You know what I mean? But being a 14-year-old kid and shit, got a grown man standing outside your house and shit, you know what I'm saying? That could be a very scary situation.
If our doors weren't locked, I could have been killed easily. I was skinny.
But I ain't gonna lie, now?
Definitely not a fighter. Shit. I didn't leave my room again that night until my mom got home around 9. I told her what happened, and her reaction was angry at me for not calling 911, and in hindsight, that was very stupid of me. One of the many things I did, or rather didn't do at a young age, that I questioned greatly.
So just stay in your house, bro. Chill out. You know? Lock all the doors. And you straight.
This was the story of how I almost died as a young kid, home alone.
Oh, shit.
Possibly the most intense night of my life with way too much going on. We're a family of 5. I was 10 at the time. My older brother was 14, my little sister was 5.
Damn. See, his older brother was 14. So his older brother's still a kid too, so he can't protect his ass. That nigga's still a kid himself. Shit. Nigga 10 years old.
Night. My brother was out with his friends causing trouble.
Your mama was getting busy.
Because a dreaded phone call came to my parents. All I remember was I was in my room playing a Star Wars video game when I heard my mom start freaking out crying. I got really scared and hurried to see what was wrong. My mom was on the phone with the hospital, calling to inform my parents that my brother had gotten hit by a car.
Damn.
Obviously, we were all shaken and really scared. My brother's leg was broken, but I don't know what else was said on the phone. All I know is my parents hurried to get their coats on and got my little sister from her room and asked me if I was okay to stay home alone. I said yes, and they hurried out to the car and left. I was, of course, really worried for my brother, but I really didn't want to go to the hospital and see him in any kind of bad condition. I don't think my parents wanted me or my sister to either, but they didn't want to leave my 5-year-old sister home without them. It's worth mentioning my brother recovered just fine, as his injury is no longer relevant to the story, other than it being the reason why I was left home alone on a Friday night. Before my dad left, he was trying to calm down my mom, telling her he was going to be okay. So seeing my dad like that made me feel better. I had a feeling my mom was just being overdramatic like any mom would be. I continued playing the Star Wars game for a couple more hours, when I heard the front door open. I had my bedroom door closed. By this point, it was easily past midnight and past my bedtime, so I turned off the TV and PlayStation and crawled into my bed with my Game Boy. I tried listening to hear my parents' voices, maybe hear if my brother was with them or just hear what they were saying, but I didn't hear anything. After a few minutes of not hearing them even come up the stairs... My man said he just got out of jail, you know what I mean? Appreciate it, bro. Damn, my nigga, what the fuck this nigga do, man? Stay out of jail, my boy. Stay out of jail, man. You feel me? I had a feeling something was wrong. Yeah, man, but man, they be hating on a young brother and shit like that, man. They said I was harassing and cyberbullying. You know what I mean? But
I told niggas, I'm like, nigga, shit, nigga, I'm on Twitch now. You feel me? Every video you see that's going on my YouTube channel is, you know what I'm saying? It's coming from here, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't worried about that shit, man. Little shit, light shit.
I went to my door and quietly opened it, then walked over to the ledge and banister that overlooked the living room. The lights were off, but there were 3 tall people standing in my living room. They weren't my family. I was so petrified that I was frozen for a second before I could quietly walk back into my room and shut the door as quietly as I could in my trepidation. But it wasn't quiet enough, and I knew it. They had to have heard the door click shut, even if just slightly. I hurried to my closet door, opened it quietly, stepped inside, then shut the door.
Man, you gotta get out
I
the
had myself
house.
sitting behind a bunch of the boxes and bags of clothes that were stuffed in my closet. I was actually pretty covered from view. There was this short period that felt like forever that I was anticipating my bedroom door open, and it did.
Damn.
And at that moment, I knew I was going to die. I heard footsteps walk into the room. I couldn't tell how many people. It may have been 1, it may have been 2. I heard the footsteps move to my bed. Then I heard my covers being played with. Then silence. Then more footsteps towards the closet door. Then silence for a few seconds. And then the closet door opened. My heart was in my throat by this point. All I did was sit quietly and hold my breath. The door was open for a really long time.
Yeah, appreciate it, but I ain't gonna lie, I really ain't even hurt, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I really ain't hurt, bro. You feel me? I don't know. I'm just shit different. Cause I'm just on shit. I'm come over here now. You know what I mean? I already getting paid over here, so shit. I don't really trip about that shit. You know what I mean? Oh God, I wasn't tripping about that shit. 2.9K for that 3K over here. I'm like, shit, fuck it.
But I didn't look up.
See, you gotta realize, man, when it comes to life, man, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta keep moving forward, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize, man, life, bro. Shit happens. Shit you can't control, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, bro. So me just crying and my YouTube channel's gone. Me just, man, I got a Twitch. That's how I looked at it. I'm like, nigga, I got a Twitch. Life, bro. Feel me? I don't really stress about shit I can't control. You know what I mean? I just go along with this shit. You know what I mean? Life too short to take this shit serious, on God, bro. I just, shit, go along with this shit. Whatever meant to be, bro. That's how I look at it.
I didn't move. It had to be a good 20 seconds of silence before the door closed again. Footsteps walked away from the door, then out of the room. I finally looked up, and I just realized, from where I was crouched down behind the bags and boxes, I may have been visible to that person. It wasn't until probably an hour that I heard my parents return. I ran downstairs to them. The front door was left ajar by the people who broke in, and they had stolen a number of valuables from our house. It was a night that just went from bad to worse for our family. My parents were in such a rush when they left for the hospital that they apparently didn't even lock the door.
Damn.
I was lucky to have not been killed or kidnapped. I look back now and really wonder if the person who opened the closet and just stood there for 20 seconds saw me hiding in there. Maybe he was just a guy that came to rob a house, not to kidnap or hurt a child. Or maybe he just didn't see me, and I just narrowly escaped death or injury.
Shit, you never know, nigga. At least you escaped that bitch, though. Shit. At least you escaped, nigga. You don't want to know, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I was home alone for an entire week one time when I was still a teenager living with my parents, which was a rare occasion since my parents don't go out a lot. My mom's rich friend Patty invited my parents on a trip that she was paying for. I'm an only child, so I was left alone in the house. We lived in Newark, Ohio, which is in Licking County. Yes, our county was actually called Licking County. My parents' old house had woods in the backyard and was on some quiet road that only a few cars would pass per day usually. We had a huge deck in the backyard overlooking the woods, and a decently large backyard. We even had a little fish pond and above-ground swimming pool. This was on a Thursday night. I remember because I had conversations with friends about plans for the weekend that day. This was in July of 2013. I was out on the deck smoking weed with my speaker playing music. That's about the time it started. I thought I heard a voice from...
I mean, you know, I could get a lawyer, but, you know, I'm not gonna win. I mean, I was saying how I was gonna spit on people and all that. I was, you know, what they said I did. You know what I mean? Just gotta Shit, live and learn. You know what I mean? I just feel like they too soft. You feel me? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You know, shit, you know, they talk shit, I'ma talk shit. So, you know, people talk shit to me, they don't do nothing to the people. You feel me? Shit. You know, I was saying all type of shit on that motherfucker. You know, shit, it is what it is. So if I get a lawyer, I ain't gonna beat it. You know what I mean? So really ain't gonna know. But what they said I did for sure. You know what I mean? I didn't learn from it at all. You feel me? But like I said, I came over here. I can't just be jeopardized. I came over here and, you know, learn from it. But, you know, I ain't with that soft shit, bro. Most I was doing was shit, giving the same energy people was giving me. You feel me? They wasn't harassing me. That wasn't cyberbullying when they was doing it to me. You feel me? But it's cyberbullying when I do it to them, though. But shit, it is what it is. I ain't learned shit from that situation. Fuck YouTube.
In the woods. I lowered the music and listened for a little bit. It didn't repeat, so I raised it back up. When the music was loud again, I heard a voice from out in the woods again. This time I turned the music off completely and listened for longer. There was a voice calling from the woods again, confirming I wasn't just hearing things. It was a male's voice, saying, "Hey, over here." He was kind of distant, but not too far. The woods were anywhere from 20 to 30 yards away from the deck.
Y'all gotta understand, bro, on YouTube, I'm not really even trying to be a YouTuber no more. I'm really trying to be a Twitch streamer, bro. Like, honestly, like what I was doing on YouTube, gang, I'm not even doing that over here. Like, I'm not really trying to be on YouTube like that no more. Every video, I told you, every video y'all see, it comes from this live stream. I don't just do what I used to do, like, go out my way and just record videos. No, I'm not doing that, bro. Like, I'm over here. You know what I mean? Everyone you see, I'm just shipping it over to YouTube, trimming and fucking shit.
That's where the voice was coming from.
You ain't doing no YouTube, nigga.
I didn't think in a million years it was someone calling out for me, though. Rather, maybe just some kids playing manhunt or something. The voice called out again. "Hey, over here, we need help." This time I realized the voice was too deep to be a kid.
Oh, God,
and when a voice yells out, "We need help," obviously that'll always be slightly concerning. I was getting a little bit uncomfortable now, because now I was questioning if these yells were directed at me.
They looking at your ass.
"Straight in front of you, please come help us." And the voice was coming from straight in front of me in the woods. Now I had a feeling this was directed at me. I reluctantly called back, "Who is that?" And they responded, "We just need help, we're stuck in the woods."
That's you, nigga.
I called back, "What does that mean?" And the voice replied back, "Just please come help, straight in front of you."
Bro.
I got out from my seat,
oh, so you finna
walked
help
down
him?
the steps of the deck
This
onto
nigga,
the grass, and proceeded towards the woods.
This nigga really going to help a nigga that's, bro, are you stupid, bro? You don't even know what the hell you walking into, stupid ass nigga. Dumb ass nigga, like, bro. Nigga walk down the steps and, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
I called out, "I'm coming, where are you?" The voice replied instantly, "Right in front of you, I see you." I replied back, "Wait, are you alone or with someone?" There was no answer this time. I stopped in my tracks about halfway towards the woods. I had a bad feeling in my gut about this. I started walking backwards, back towards the house and the deck. I didn't even want to turn my back to the woods, because it took me that long to realize there was something very suspicious about this situation. I made it back to the deck, and the voice didn't say anything else. If they truly saw me and this was real, they would have said something like, "Where are you going?" at the very least. They knew I was onto the situation, but who even knows how many people were in there? Could have been one, could have been three. All I know is getting stuck in the woods makes absolutely no sense, especially if he or they were able to literally see me. What? Did their shirt get caught on a branch? I went inside the house and locked all the doors just to be safe.
You're using your brain now?
Chilled in my living room for a bit, still high. And I think that's why I was more trusting at first, because of how high and relaxed I was. Then though,
bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit like that, when I'm high and shit like that make me even more paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? I ain't gonna lie, my height would have been blue. You feel me? On real shit. Like, nigga wouldn't been hot no more. Like, what the fuck? I'm chilling and smoking on my deck and shit, man. I'm hearing niggas talking about, "I need help. We need help." You know what I'm saying? Come on, Jay, you tripping.
Voice again from outside. Closer now. Definitely in the backyard and not the woods anymore. I heard splashing of water. It could have been the pool or the pond. I hurried to the window to see. I didn't see anyone at first, But then the voice called, "I see you," with a laugh. I noticed him. It was one guy, at least one guy visible. He was hidden behind the pool on the other side, and I could only see his head. It was just too dark to make out anything besides his dark, medium-length hair. I closed the blinds and tried to ignore it. Maybe he'd lose interest if he saw I wasn't entertaining him. He was probably a sick, deranged person who enjoyed messing with people, so I didn't want to give him what he wanted. But my breaking point was when there was a horrible, aggressive banging on the window where I had just closed the blinds, and on the other side, the guy was screaming help. I screamed at the top of my lungs to "Fuck off, you freak, the police are coming." I screamed it over and over, trying to make myself sound crazier than him. I heard him.
He said, trying to make myself sound crazier than him. That nigga was scared as fuck.
I did over and over, trying to make myself sound crazier than him. I heard him start to laugh on the other side of the glass. His laughing started to fade away as I assume he walked away. I sat back down on the couch, trembling, shaking, out of breath. I sat there for a while, and it seemed like the guy had really given up. I still got a good night's sleep that night because weed helps me sleep. I wonder if I would have handled that situation any differently if I wasn't high, though. The situation made me more paranoid about who I opened my door to.
No ass. Niggas just tripping, my boy.
I'm 23 years old, and I live at home with my parents still. One day they were both not home, and I was outside playing basketball in the front yard. At some point while I was playing, I looked up at one of our upstairs windows and saw a woman standing there. Not my mom, not my sister. It was a random woman. I guess when she saw me looking at her, she dipped away from the window.
This
When
nigga.
I went inside and upstairs to check the lounge room, she wasn't anywhere. I checked every single room I could. Every bedroom, the bathroom, every closet. Then I checked the downstairs, which
Little
included
nice
the
little
living
spot
room,
right there,
kitchen,
man.
dining room, one
Nice
bedroom,
little spot.
and 4 closets. Finally, I checked the basement, and I highly doubted she could be down there. It's a small basement with a couple couches, a bar, and 2 closets. There weren't many places for someone to hide. But when I opened the second closet door, I was incredibly scared, as I didn't know of any other places someone could be hiding in the house. This was the last unchecked spot that I could think of. I yanked the door open as if I were ripping off a band-aid, and like I did with the closet before this one, I right away pushed myself into the closet just in case that woman was in there and I'd have the jump on her. But all I pushed myself into was a bunch of coats and coat hangers. I was so confused. I wasn't going to question my sanity, though. I definitely saw that woman, and I knew it. It wasn't the kind of thing you would just so vividly imagine. I went back to the middle floor and screamed very loud that whoever was in the house needs to get the F out. I actually screamed so loud that our next-door neighbor came over and asked if I was okay.
Damn.
I told him
Screamed
that I
that
literally
loud?
just saw a woman at our upstairs window watching me play basketball. He came in and helped me search again. When we couldn't find her, I was left to assume that she snuck out through the back door, which I did unlock after all when I went to grab the basketball from the yard. So my neighbor left. I locked all the doors, called my parents, and told them the crazy story, and they weren't too thrilled. But they asked me to make sure nothing was stolen. I did just that.
Imagine that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You playing hoops and shit. You know what I'm saying? Playing hoops. You know what I mean? Shooting, you know what I mean? Playing little hoops and shit. And you look up, nigga. You see a lady fucking staring at you upstairs. And then you go upstairs and check the shit out. She not even there. You know what I mean? So now you got to check the whole fucking cribbo. You know what I mean? Because you just seen a lady upstairs watching you playing basketball, bro. That got to be the most terrifying shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
And luckily it seemed anything that was worth something was still in place. So
Probably was
now
a
fast
demon
forward
or
to
something.
that night. I went to
Paranormal
sleep
or
after
something.
checking the house one more time just for peace of mind. It was hard to fall asleep though. My mind was racing for obvious reasons. Most people can't relate to seeing a stranger at their window inside of their house. But my restlessness helped me out in this situation, and here's why. I was finally starting to drift away slightly. Then I heard some noises from the other side of me. I had the fan on above me, So the room wasn't dead silent.
Damn.
And that's why I didn't immediately turn to my other side at the first sound I heard. But the sound started to sound human-like.
Oh, God.
I turned to my other side, and there she was, getting out from under my bed.
Oh,
She
shit.
stood up tall above the bed, and I screamed so loud, louder than earlier before. I jumped out of my bed and tackled her to the floor and had my hand around her throat, asking her who she was. My doorbell rang, my neighbor again. I picked the tall, dirty-looking woman up off the floor and dragged her to the front door with me as she struggled and scratched at me. I still have 2 scars on my right arm from her claws.
Damn.
I opened my front door to my neighbor again, and he let himself in and helped me restrain the woman. This was when I called the police. The whole time we waited for the police, the woman was screaming and cursing at my neighbor and I, threatening us too. The best way to put it, she looked and acted like a meth head currently suffering from withdrawals. When the police arrived, one of the officers knew exactly who the woman was. They had dealt with her multiple times before.
Damn.
Her name was conveniently Karen. It was satisfying
Karen.
to watch her be brought into the back of the police
Her
car.
name is Karen?
I let my neighbor know how grateful I was for him coming so quickly to help. And that night, my mind continued to race. But instead of being completely freaked out, which I still was a little, I felt this overwhelming feeling of satisfaction. And I can't fully explain why.
Shit crazy, Chad. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You know what I'm saying? But we got 3 scary true home scary